Pauley Perrette and Michael Weatherly appeared to have formed an unbreakable relationship, which was frequently evident in their interactions both on and off set. Because of the friendship they had developed over years of working together, their banter was frequently characterized as natural. It was evident from their on-screen relationship that the two performers enjoyed each other's company. Michael was more than simply a co-star to Pauley. He was a personal friend and confidant. Long hours of filming had created a bond between them that spectators could feel. However, everything changed in 2016. Michael Weatherly's announcement that he was departing NCIS after 13 seasons shocked the whole cast. Fans might have been shocked by the choice, but Pauley Perrette and the rest of the cast were even more taken aback. It was widely recognized that Weatherly played a crucial role in the show's popularity, so many people were left wondering how it would go on without him. The news came as a shock to Pauley. She was losing not just a respected colleague, but also a friend. She and Michael had been working together for more than 10 years, and their bond had developed outside of the set. In interviews, Pauley described how his decision to leave took her by surprise and disclosed that she had no prior notice of his leaving. Despite their strong relationship, it seems that the news caught her off guard. As fans conjectured about Michael's motivations for leaving and whether there had been any tensions or disagreements between the two performers, this news garnered media attention. Pauley's response was one of sincere surprise and grief. She conveyed her shock in a heartfelt message, saying she would miss Michael terribly and that she had no idea what he had planned. "I was unaware that he was going." She then revealed in an interview that it was so abrupt and honestly, it was hard to process. "Together, we had a great time. We were related. The death of a friend wasn't the only thing that made me feel betrayed. It had to do with the uncertainties surrounding NCIS's future." Dinozo, played by Michael Weatherly, had been a mainstay of the program for years, so his absence created a gap that was challenging to fill. Pauley found the change in the cast dynamic to be emotionally taxing and challenging. The show was no longer able to rely on Abby and Tony's intense chemistry, and the loss of this collaboration was felt both on and off screen. Departing from a long-running show has repercussions that are felt in multiple ways. The passing of Michael Weatherly caused Pauley Perrette's workplace to change significantly. The close-knit environment that had developed on site as a result of the cast members' deep friendships and cooperative efforts was now under threat. Abby's character would have to change if Tony didn't joke around with her. Pauley's emotional reaction to Michael's departure was worsened by the loss of their close personal relationship, which went beyond the business ramifications. She had always expressed how much she treasured her friendships with her co-stars, so it was a shock to her when one of her closest friends abruptly left. Pauley quickly expressed her sorrow, but she also had a great deal of empathy for Michael's choice. He left the show to explore other chances, including starring in his own series, Bull, which she later admitted she respected. Pauley showed the maturity and tenacity that defined her attitude to her work by supporting her co-stars' new ventures in spite of the hurt she felt. But the melancholy persisted. Pauley would sometimes discuss the loss in interviews following Michael's departure, implying that it had been challenging to accept it. Losing someone you've worked with for a long time is difficult. It's similar like losing a relative. However, you must also honor their choice to advance in their work, she clarified in one interview. Pauley stayed true to her character as Abby in spite of her emotions. She was aware that her character would need to keep changing and that she would need to continue the program despite the loss of a significant portion of its structure. She still missed the teamwork that had been so essential to her experience on NCIS, though. Following Michael's departure, NCIS went through a phase of change. To fill the vacuum caused by Tony's absence, new characters were added, such as Jennifer Esposito's portrayal of Alex Quinn. However, the show was unquestionably different even with new actors joining the group. For Pauley, this meant that Abby had to adapt both emotionally and professionally to the loss of her criminal accomplice. In the following seasons, Abby, who had always been renowned for her lively demeanor, clever one-liners, and intense devotion to her friends, became a little more reflective. Viewers watched as Abby attempted to bridge the void left by her best friend and coworker, Tony, as she navigated a world without him at her side. Only 20 minutes before the news broke, Pauley Perrette was completely unaware of co-star Cote de Pablo's departure from NCIS. Days before season 11 filming began in 2013, Cote, who plays Special Agent Ziva David, quit the well-liked police drama because she was unhappy with how her character was treated. Her abrupt departure from the program startled both co-stars and fans with some being angry over what appeared to be a hasty choice. Coat is resuming her role in NCIS, Tony and Ziva, a spin-off series that will premiere in 2025, more than 10 years after she first left the show. Pauley, also known as forensic scientist Abby Pseudo, stated in an interview with E! News that she and the other members of the cast and crew were not informed of Coates' decision to leave the show. "It was huge news to us," she remarked. "I learned about it just 20 minutes before the news outlets reported it. However, we adore her. She is one of our friends. She needed to make a personal choice. Nobody wished for her to go. There wasn't any drama, and there isn't anything to report. There wasn't any drama at all. But that's what occurred because we respect and adore her." Coat discussed her abrupt departure and the reasons behind it during a panel for her film The 33, pointing to political things and the scripts not being good enough. "I adore this character," Coat continued. "I felt or I perceived that the character was not being treated with the respect that she deserved," referring to some conflicts behind the scenes because I had spent 8 years creating this character and loving her. Pauley was more tolerant than the late David McCallum, who was most known for playing Donald Ducky Mallard on the program. "It was anger and frustration that someone should just leave us," he told Digital Spy. "I simply don't understand how a starring lady in a globally popular program, who supposedly aspires to be an actress, would abruptly leave such a jewel and simply disappear a few days before filming begins." From 2003 until his passing in 2023, David appeared in 20 seasons of the program. 5 years after the abrupt departure of her friend and co-star Coat, Pauley left the show after 15 seasons in 2018. Ziva's off-screen death in season 11 is fortunate because it would have prevented Coat from reprising her character in the 2025 spin-off. Pauley Perrette has been a regular on NCIS for years, giving her distinct energy and charisma to the part of Abby Pseudo, the show's eccentric and charming forensic scientist. She was an essential contributor to the success of the show and a fan favorite for her portrayal of the gothic, quirky lab worker with a golden heart. Changes were unavoidable, though, as with any long-running television show. Both the performers and the audience may feel betrayed by the departure of cherished co-stars. In particular, Pauley Perrette was caught off guard when one of her co-stars, with whom she had grown close both emotionally and professionally, abruptly left NCIS. The story that follows examines the emotional and professional fallout from that incident, as well as the relationships that were forged and subsequently put to the test on set. Nobody could have foreseen the success of NCIS when show debuted in 2003. NCIS immediately enthralled viewers with its distinctive fusion of police procedural, military drama, and character-driven plotlines. With each member contributing something unique, the cast, led by Mark Harmon as Larry Jeffro Gibbs, quickly gained popularity. Among them was Abby Pseudo, played by Pauley Perrette, who stood out for her quirky manner and passion for her job. Abby's relationships with her coworkers were consistently lighthearted and friendly, particularly her bond with Michael Weatherly's character, Anthony Danozzo, the team's senior field agent. Danozzo was the ideal counterpoint to Abby's more eccentric, nerdy personality because of his arrogant, endearing manner and never-ending one-liners. Their on-screen connection was evident, and their friendship played a big role in the show's success. Their lighthearted chemistry was immediately appreciated by the audience, with many assuming that their relationship was a reflection of the close friendship the performers had behind the scenes. Even though Abby was still doing well as a forensic scientist, her bond with Gibbs, the team's leader, became more significant. Abby's inability to adjust to the loss of one of her closest friends put her sense of family, which had always been at the heart of her personality, to the test. Pauley's transformation was reflected in Abby's transformation as well. Both the actress and the character were searching for a new normal following Michael Weatherly's untimely death. After Michael Weatherly left NCIS, Pauley Perrette had a period of personal and professional development and adjustment. Pauley continued to be one of the most adored cast members of NCIS despite the challenging change. She was renowned for her charity and friendliness for her co-stars in addition to her skill and commitment to her work. Her resilience was shown by her capacity to deal with the loss of a close friend while still giving her all to her work. Pauley Perrette decided to depart NCIS in 2018 after playing Abby Pseudo for 15 seasons. Although her leaving brought a feeling of closure for her character, it was not without its own set of emotions. In interviews before her departure, Pauley stated that she had given leaving NCIS a lot of thought and that it was time for her to pursue new chances. Her leaving's bittersweet quality mirrored the emotions that many fans had felt following Michael's departure. Although Pauley's exit from NCIS signaled the end of an era, the relationships she had developed with her co-stars, such as Michael Weatherly, persisted. She acknowledged the importance of her co-stars to her and kept thanking them for the years she worked on the show. She stated, "We were family," in a final interview. "It's not just about the show, it's about the relationships we built along the way." Ultimately, Pauley Perrette's experience of being caught off guard by her favorite co-star's exit from NCIS served as a reminder of how brittle professional relationships can be and how unforeseen circumstances may completely alter friendships and careers. However, it also demonstrated how strong those ties were and how capable everyone was of evolving and changing with the times. Despite being put to the test, Pauley and Michael's friendship was nevertheless a significant chapter in their lives.